You wanna make things fair? I'll show you fair. A couple of weeks ago, my kids and their neighbors decided to have a bake sale. We live in a tourist area with high foot traffic, and the kids make a killing. I tell the kids I ought to charge them for the labor. I said I'd help bake and ingredients so they learn the concept of net gains. But instead I'll donate to their cause. And just to bring me back the money I lent them to make change. I love seeing the kids be entrepreneurial, work so hard, and get so excited at their success. After a couple of hours, the neighbor's son decides he's bored and wants to go home. So he tells my kid, "When you're done, come by and deliver half the money." Mine says, "Hey, that's not fair. If you're leaving, we should split the money now." Mind you, the bulk of their sales was my baking. Neighbor kid gets super pissed, but mine sticks to their guns. They split the money and the kid leaves in a huff. Mine comes in a few hours later, having lugged home all the gear and cleaned up, annoyed that the neighbor kid got annoyed at them. Then I get a knock on the door. It's the neighbor's mom, with the kid, who is still pouting. Mom's holding a receipt. Mom explains that they purchased a bunch of stuff for the bake sale. It cost a lot of money, and it's not fair that my kid is making money off their stuff, and that they should be compensated for what they purchased. The receipt lists a bunch of items I immediately see they didn't use. Like 2 boxes of cereal, when they used 1. Napkins that I'd ended up providing. But whatever. And never mind that her son went home early and left mine to clean up. And never mind that I'd been churning out batches of cookies all morning. I'm irked they've taken what was a fun, cheerful day of kids making money hand over fist, and shown up at my door making me engage in a super awkward conversation because they assume their kid can't be wrong. So I say, "Of course," and fetch my receipts. I sit down and, in front of them, and out loud, calculate the cost of lemonade and cups used. I calculate the cost of flour, sugar, chocolate chips, vanilla and butter per batch of cookies, multiplied by the number of batches made. I toss in the baking soda for free. So generous. I even subtract the value of leftover cookies. Did I mention I made a lot of cookies? The neighbor kid has to fork over $23. They got pretty quiet all of a sudden. I thanked the lady for making sure things were fair, and offered her a plate of cookies to take home. She declined. The end. I'm sure your kids learned plenty from this. We did the same with our kids years ago. Had a yard sale on a hot summer day and our kids opened a refreshment booth. They sold individually wrapped snacks bought at Costco, cold soda by the can and lemonade. At the end of the day they made more money than the entire yard sale made. Did they fork over the $23? This is beautiful. The fallout? Your kids become accountants and tax lawyers after smelling that sweet smell of blood. My granddaughter, 11, caught horse fever almost 2 years ago. Her parents could have bought the horse outright, but decided if she wanted it she needed to work for it. It's a big obligation, and she has to prove she can stick with it. They got a booth for her at their farmer's market. Every week for 2 years she has spent 3 days baking and on Saturday mornings selling her wares. Her parents keep the store receipts for ingredients and the Amazon charges for packaging materials. She has to pay all that back. Along the way she has also honed math skills, adding purchases up, making change, doubling recipes, or cutting them in half. Math was tough for her when they started, but she's solid on it now. She has over $5,000 in the bank. Her parents have been taking her for writing lessons since this all started. They pay for that. When she gets enough money, she's set. Well done. I'd recommend not doing bake sales with them anymore. Though, sounds like you'll have more issues in the future if you do. Outsmarting the righteous mother hen, helping her know to think things through. Brava good woman. I, a dad, was the adult for a car wash run by a figure skating club, taking place in a parking lot for a mall. After about an hour, some of the kids want to go to the food court and get a drink. I said, sure. Just don't forget to come back. Some came back with drinks after a few minutes, but the rest were like back in about an hour. I wrote up a timesheet of who was where and when and divided up the money collected to whose bursary would receive what. Some parents were not so happy with me, but the coaches were looking at me like I am some dad superhero. This was delicious. Hope you got back the money you gave to make change. You set a good example for your kid, and it shows. I saw a Twitter post yesterday with a funny little kid's lemonade stand entrepreneur story. My daughter made $110 on her lemonade stand today. In like an hour. Turned out people were handing her $5s and $10s, and she was just assertively saying thank you for the tip, and not offering change. This made me smile. This is so me. But I would have also added the federal minimum wage in for the hours I spent baking. Lol. Love this. Fair is fair, haha. Careful what you bitch about, I guess, lol. And what about your labor? That was thrown in as free. I feel it's good to make the kids subtract the price of ingredients out of their profits. I think they will learn more that way. And it would also help avoid situations like this. I get that you want to help them out. And you certainly can bankroll them if they are having trouble. But I think getting them to learn what it takes to be self-sufficient would be a worthwhile goal. Would be very careful about having multiple kids as business partners though. Expectations would need to be very clear. Even adults struggle with this. And it's usually one person carrying all the weight while the other still expects half the profits. This is perfect. One summer when I was 13, I set up a lemonade stand at the cul-de-sac in front of my apartment complex. Periodically I would have one of my neighbors or friends watch it while I rode my bike up to the store to get more lemons and sugar. On my second day when I was at the store, I saw that watermelons were on sale, so I bought a watermelon. I started selling watermelon slices. They became my biggest seller. At one point on my return trip from the store, there were 5 UPS trucks parked waiting to buy watermelon slices. After 4 or 5 days I retired. I sold my table and my recipe to another neighbor kid. I was making good money. But I wanted to be out riding bikes and playing with my friends. I was the neighbor's kid and I never forgot the lesson, and that was 47 years ago. You may have helped that child more than you know. Hands clapping, bravo, hands clapping.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.